Time flies when you're having fun. Just ask those who have lived, worked, and played in Burnsville for the last half century. As the city's 50th anniversary, 2014 was a year focused on celebrating Burnsville's rich history, while continuing to grow and plan for a bright future. Join us as we relive 2014 through a City of Burnsville perspective. The candles are blown out and the streamers are put away, but that wasn't the case in 2014, when Burnsville celebrated its 50th birthday party as an incorporated city. The year-long festivities included a celebration of community and culture at the Ames Center, a parade float and presentation at the Burnsville Fire Muster, a rededication of Burnsville's police officers, commemorative postcards and medallions, special 50th anniversary videos and social media campaigns, and reunions between current and past city officials, council members, and mayors. It truly was a celebration 50 years in the making. While not quite 50 years old, the city-run Garage Youth Center has been operating for more than a decade. In 2014, the city turned over the center's after-school program to Burnsville-Egan Savage School District Community Education, and the popular music program to a new nonprofit, Twin Cities Catalyst Music. The city will continue to support youth through the new Burnsville Youth Collaborative, which will make sure the mission of the Garage continues. Speaking of youth, Burnsville's Recreation Department introduced a new summer playground program, Camp Extreme, which is a version of the successful Kids of Summer program, but for older kids. Summer concerts and movies, along with youth activities and a highly successful Halloween festival, drew more than 38,000 smiling kids and families to Burnsville parks. Nearly 6,000 adults and seniors were also smiling as they took part in softball, broomball, sand volleyball, pickleball, nature walks, and more. Burnsville Community Television held its first ever public open house, a PSA day where nonprofits could create their own videos, and continued to offer video production classes, all while continuing to produce hundreds of hours of local programming. And the newly named Ames Center continued its success, welcoming its 500,000th patron in July, increasing its attendance during several sold-out shows, and reducing its operating subsidy by more than 30% from the previous year. Business was booming in 2014, with nearly 40 new companies calling Burnsville home, and many more starting or completing renovations. Tri-State Bobcat found a new home in the former Burnsville Bowl. Enterprise began construction on a new sales building on Highway 13. The Ames Center parking ramp was expanded. And the Burnsville Center and surrounding area became home to H&M, Lucky's 13 Pub, Total Wine, Planet Fitness, Smash Burger, and Lumber Liquidators. Fairview Ridges Hospital completed their expansion, which includes a new street, parking ramp, 4-story medical office, and additional hospital space. The city-sponsored Open to Business program continued to provide free consulting to small businesses and aspiring entrepreneurs. Burnsville saw construction begin for its largest single-family housing development in more than 10 years. The new development will include 48 lots on the city's western border. And the Burnsville Workforce Center hosted Secretary of Labor Thomas Perez, who spoke on a number of business-related topics in May. 2014 brought with it the much-anticipated completion of the Highway 13 County Road 5 intersection, as well as nearly 14 miles of rehabilitated city streets. The city also installed its first monument entrance sign on its eastern border along Highway 13, and turned over operation of the perennial flooding Black Dog Road to XL Energy. The long and seemingly unending winter brought with it more than 40 snow events that sent plows scurrying and kept public works crews busy responding to dozens of frozen service lines. In 2014, the city laid out plans for a new park, the first since Nicollet Commons, and trail along the Minnesota River, scheduled to open in fall of 2016. The water treatment plant received an upgrade, swapping out its 40-year-old chlorine system, which required highly reactive chlorine gas to be stored on site, to a system that safely creates chlorine as needed. Recycling continued to be a high priority for residents. Dakota Valley Recycling, representing Burnsville, Apple Valley, and Eagan, processed more than 1,600 cars dropping off hazardous waste, appliances, and electronics during its annual Household Hazardous Waste Drop-Off, and collected nearly 11,000 pounds of shoes during its annual shoe recycling collection. The city continued preparing for the inevitable arrival of the emerald ash borer, treating nearly 500 trees in city parks and boulevards, and encouraged residents to plant more trees and native plants during its annual tree and plant sale. The year was also highlighted by a visit from Environmental Protection Agency Administrator Gina McCarthy, who discussed topics with city officials from landfills to drinking water. Residents once again showed their love for Burnsville, participating in a number of community events such as I Love Burnsville Week in June, the annual International Festival in July, a special 50th anniversary themed fire muster in September, and of course the annual Burnsville Winter Lighting Ceremony in November. Even though they opened 19 days later than in 2013, Burnham Wood Golf Course hosted nearly 20,000 rounds of golf, 300 more than the previous year. The Burnsville Ice Center continued to keep skaters happy year-round with their annual Learn to Skate lessons, Blaze Summer Hockey Clinic, Impressions on Ice Skating Show, Open Skating, and hockey leagues. For those who prefer to skate off the ice, the Burnsville Skate Park began raising funds for its Phase 2 expansion, kicked off by a generous $50,000 donation by the Burnsville Lions Club. Vanderlaan Field saw community partners come together to create a new Vanderlaan Garden and statue to honor the work of the late Rich Vanderlaan. And the city made a push to recruit volunteers with an I Volunteer campaign earlier in the year. More than 100 in-house volunteers dedicated close to 3,000 hours of their time last year. Preparing for the worst while hoping for the best was the mantra of the Burnsville Police and Fire Departments in 2014. The departments, along with many other Dakota County agencies, took part in a large-scale water rescue training on the Minnesota River and an active shooter training at the Burnsville Center Mall. As a result of many high-profile national incidents, the police department's use of on-officer cameras was spotlighted by many news agencies and modeled by a number of other departments across the country. Burnsville was also recognized by the Humphrey School in Minneapolis for local government innovation, for being nearly 4 years ahead of the curve with police body cameras. To help the public to better understand crime trends, the police department launched an online crime mapping tool that allows residents to view crime activity, sign up for alerts, and submit anonymous tips. The department also focused on engaging the community directly, working hand in hand with residents during the highly popular Citizens Academy, Mobile Volunteer Network Program, and Minnesota Night to Unite. Nearly 1,500 people got a behind-the-scenes look at the Burnsville Fire Department during their annual open house, and the department exceeded expectations in their multi-unit housing fire prevention campaign launched in 2011. 2 years later, the program has resulted in a significant decrease in apartment fires, as well as injuries and property loss. The City of Burnsville was once again recognized for its strong financial position, receiving AAA bond ratings from both Standard & Poor's and Moody's rating services. The city also spent months working on its 2015 budget, striving to keep the impact on taxpayers low in the wake of increasing costs and rising home values. The council settled on a 4% increase to its tax levy, which will help the city maintain its current levels of service to residents, as well as dedicating nearly $14 million to street and utility improvements. Nearly 25,000 voters, 65% of those eligible in Burnsville, cast ballots in the November election, which saw the re-election of incumbent City Council members Dan Keeley and Bill Coughlin. Burnsville Community Television was nominated for its first ever Regional Emmy Award for the video production of We Are the Burnsville Police Department. And the city began a pilot program with Google exploring the effectiveness of advertising on the city's website search page. While 2014 was a year to remember, the City of Burnsville looks forward to an even brighter 2015. Stay in touch with the city by watching BCTV Channel 16, reading the Burnsville Bulletin City newsletter, and visiting the burnsville.org website. You can also find us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.